Hi everybody and welcome to the Open eCrime midweek market commentary for the 5th of June. My name's Simon Clark from Trade with Precision and I'll be discussing the markets that are moving and of key interest right now. Now the first market I'm going to take a look at today here is soybeans. Now this is the futures contract for soybeans, and if we take a look here at the higher time frames, I'll talk through why I'm quite interested in this market and what trading opportunities I'm looking for on the lower time frames. So if we start off here on the monthly chart, we can see that we've had a nice clear series of higher highs and higher lows in price. We've got a nice clear uptrend. Price has now been we've pulled right back into the buy zone. We've had a few months of consolidation in that buy zone, and now just recently we're breaking up to the high side. And if this trend is going to continue, then we're expecting a new high in this market. We've got moving averages all fanning in the right order, and also lovely convergence on the indicators too. If we come down to the weekly chart, we can see this sideways consolidation in a bit more detail. We can see prices for the past few weeks has just had positive candles pushing up to the high side, and we've just broken through this key 1,500 level. We're also starting to get some nice convergence here on the indicators too. So coming down to the daily chart, we can just again see even more strong buying action in this market. We see the strength of this buying action. So on the daily chart, we've got a clear series of higher highs and higher lows in price. So we've got a nice clear structured trend. We've got all of the moving averages in the right order here with nice geometry in between them too. And you can see that price just comes back. It just tests this buy zone before finding momentum and pushing up to make new highs. Nice convergence here on the indicators too. So looking very nice. However, if we come down to these lower time frames, now this is the 480 minute chart. Looking down at the 480 minute, you can see the strength of this trend. You can see how price action has been sort of respecting the moving averages here. Each time it sort of comes into the buy zone, it finds momentum, pushes out to the high side, comes back in, small bullish candle in the buy zone, big move to the high side. It gets extended from the moving averages, pulls back into the buy zone. Now right at this moment, we've got a couple of small candles right there in the buy zone, and we've also got this level that I've marked in here in price. This is 1530 level, so 1530, and you can just see in the recent price action, price has come up. It's tested it once here, it's now found support here, it's now come back underneath, it's found a bit of a resistance there as well. Small bullish candle right underneath that level in the buy zone too. So what I'm looking for with this, I'm just looking to see if we get a trend flow trading opportunity, just around here. If this sort of candle stays the same size, because it could be a nice opportunity to get long just above this level here, stop below the low. It could be a nice opportunity to get into this trend and take advantage as it moves to the high side. Okay, the next market I'm going to take a look at today here is silver. This is the @YI contract, so this is the mini futures contract on silver. And if we take a look here at the high time frames, just talk through what's happening in this market. Here on the monthly chart, we can see that back from this spike high in 2011, we've had a nice clear series of lower highs and lower lows. We've been in a downtrend. Now we've broken this level, this sort of 25, 26 level here, where price has found support before. We've broken underneath that and now making new lows. Got nice convergence here on the indicators too, just indicating that there's nice selling momentum in this market. Coming down to the weekly chart, we can see this bit of price action in a bit more detail. We've just had a nice clear series of lower highs and lower lows, nice trend forming here. Our moving averages are now sort of in the right order. They're out fanning as well very nicely, and price is just sort of, as it's pulling away, it's sort of pulling close into those averages before we're getting a next move of this trend to the downside. At the moment, we've got small candles just sort of pulling very close to the sell zone. Nice convergence here on the indicators, just indicating there's still selling momentum in the market. If we come down to the daily chart and the lower time frames, what you can start to see here is as price has pulled down, we've had a big move to the downside, and then price has consolidated sort of sideways. We've had a bit of a pullback into the sell zone, bit of a pullback down again, and then just recently from this previous low, we've now had just a sideways consolidation. We're right in the sell zone there, and price is just sort of drifting sideways, just waiting for things to catch up, maybe catching up here on the higher time frames, like on the weekly, before the anticipation is that this trend is likely to continue. So we've got a little bit of divergence here on the MACD. The RSI is sort of broadly flat, maybe a little bit of divergence here. So a little bit sort of showing that there's no, the momentum is not ready to move to the downside just yet on the daily chart. But if we come down to these lower time frames, this is what I'm keeping a close eye on. So here on the 240 chart and on the 480, even on the 60-minute chart, I've marked in this 22 level, and you can just see how this 22 level, in fact it's probably almost slightly above that 22 level, is the real level of support and resistance. But you can just see how price has now just been consolidating within a narrow band just along this level. The indicators are just flat along this level as well. So I'm keeping a close eye to see what actually happens, because if price comes down and we get a break below 22,000 or 2200 rather, then the likelihood is that this trend on the higher time frames is going to continue, and we're going to get the next leg of the move down. Just looking here from 22, obviously the next sort of move clearly is right the way down here to 21, so there's plenty of movement to the downside, and there's a potential momentum breakout strategy setting up here, and also a potential trend flow as the price breaks down and pulls back around this level. So this is another market that I'm keeping a close eye on. These are the levels that I'm keeping an eye on here on silver, and just looking for the next trading opportunity to the downside. Okay, the last market I'm going to take a look at today here is Euro GDP. So Euro against the Great British Pound. And if we take a look here on these time frames, it's really a case of trading between levels, and there's some lovely levels that price is respecting. So let me just talk through the time frames and show you what I'm looking at. Here on the monthly chart, we can see that we've got a clear series of lower highs and lower lows. At the moment, we've made this low down here, we've made a lower high, and at the moment sort of price has sort of been treading sideways just here. We've got convergence on the indicators, and at this moment in time, we've just got small candles at this moment in time, expectation that this trend would continue. If we come down to the lower time frames, looking here at the weekly chart, we can see we've had a bit of a pullback here on the weekly chart. So we've moved from, we have been in an uptrend. We've now made a high, a low, lower high, low, a lower high, and we're just right at that sort of level at the moment. I've marked in this level here on the weekly chart of 8400, and you can see how that sort of corresponds here on the weekly chart. If we come down to the daily chart, you can start to see these levels a bit more clearly. And if I zoom this up, so this is the downtrend that we've got forming here in price. So if we count the highs, we've got the major trend. We've actually got a lower highs and lower lows, or equal lows through here, slightly lower just through here. At this moment, we're trading between these levels. So we've got 86, where you can see price has tested numerous times before, 85, which price has tested numerous times, and 84, which we showed you there on the weekly chart. And at the moment, we've just come from like the low of this range, where price has tested this a couple of times, moved up to the mid part of the range, the 8500. We've broken through that, come up to the 8600, pulled back down, and we're just testing this 8500 at the moment. Our indicators starting to roll over as well, and at this moment in time, whilst we don't sort of have any smooth flowing trend, it's certainly looking like trading opportunities in between these levels in the conjunction with the higher time frame trend. So if we come down to these lower time frames, this is the 240 chart. So just showing you here on the 240 chart, those levels marked in, this is what I'm looking at. You can see the move up, the sideways consolidation. Just look at the candle action as price has tried to get up, and every time it pushes up, it gets close to this 86 level, it's just not been able to hold there, and it's price has just been rejected every time. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 times the market has rejected, higher moves up to this 86 level. On this sort of time frames, we've even got 85.50, which has been another sort of key level at these lower time frames that you can see through here. And most recently, prices now, it's consolidated, it's broken underneath this level. Now we're starting to get a new formation of a downtrend here on these lower time frames. We've got our lower highs and lower lows. Price has sort of come down. It's tested 85 a couple of times. We're a little bit overextended from the moving averages, and they're just swung round now into the right order. So all I'm looking for is price to sort of come back into this area. I'm waiting for the averages to come down. I'm looking for this 8500 level to get broken, and then looking for new trading opportunities to the downside, either probably trend flow trading opportunities as price comes back up and tests this 8500 level. We've got lovely convergence as well on these time frames, again just supporting the move and the momentum of the market to the downside. So that concludes the midweek market outlook and potential trading opportunities to look out for. I'd like to thank you for watching the Open Ecrime midweek market commentary, and we look forward to speaking to you next week. Bye for now.